Mark my words, someday I will have a pike tank. Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary and we're getting ready to go on a field trip. Today I'm going to Reef Aquarium store, which I've heard is one of the very best stores in the Northeast. So I'm really excited to check it out. It's been a bunch of years since I spent any time in any fish stores, as I've been one myself. But since I haven't been importing and I haven't been bringing in fish in bulk, I thought it's about time that I check out what my area has to offer. And this store is really unique in that they do some really cool programs for the public where they bring in speakers to educate on all aspects of the hobby, and they also have everything from reef fish and coral frags to nanofish to African cichlids, and I'm pretty excited to check it out as it sounds like a really great spot. Now I will be speaking there in April as well. I'm not quite sure what my talk is going to be on yet, so today we're going to meet with the owner. We're going to discuss with them what they want, if they want me to do a demo, if they want a lecture, if they want a book sign, and if they want a combo of all three, and just take a look at this really cool store. With our beautiful PA weather, we have to clear off the car. So I'm going to get going with that, and then we're going to head to the store and take a look. So one of the drawbacks of living where I live is it's obviously quite beautiful, but the only real stores around are the chain stores, which are fine, but they rarely have the specialty items that I'm interested in. I do have that fish place, that pet place near me, but that one just doesn't have the feel of a privately owned store. They do a great job of, you know, doing online sales and having quite a range of things. And I do buy my hard goods there when I need foods or medications or parts or things like that. But for fish, I like a more personal touch. So I'm pretty excited to go to Reef today, but it is an hour and 45 minutes away from my house. So I certainly can't refer to it as local, but I think that you'll find in most areas where people live within a couple hours, so a nice day trip, there is usually a decent store. So I'm pretty excited to check this one out and take you guys along for the ride. So we've just pulled up. I am running early, as always. I'm one of those perpetually early people. But I think we're going to go ahead and go in and take a look. I'm pretty excited. It really has been a few years since I spent any appreciable time in a fish store. So there's a few things I'm looking for. And there's a few things that I look for in stores. I want it to be clean. I want it to be organized. I want the fish to appear to be well fed. And just a good breadth of supply, so it's sort of an all-in-one stop. So let's go take a look and see how this store measures up. So right off the bat, first impression is this place is awesome. It's pretty epic that they have a whole plumbing supply section. A lot of stores don't bother with that. And it's really important as a fish keeper to be able to get replacement parts when you have an impeller that breaks or things like that. They have a huge amount of various supplies, which is also awesome, from all sorts of filters, from entry level to high end. I noticed they have Kessel lights for sale, which is unique. They have some of the smaller kit tanks to really large tanks, and just what looks to be a great breadth of supplies. And I am immediately excited as we walk over to this side of the store, because a lot of times too, your general fish store will sort of neglect hardscape, and it's obvious right off the bat that not only do they carry a wide range of hardscape, but clearly some really big pieces down to really tiny pieces, which is super important. And hardscape is one of those things that a lot of people just really like to pick for themselves, so it's always nice when a store has a good range of these things available. First, this is Scott.
Hi,
Scott runs the store. Are you owner?
No, I'm manager. I was hired to design, build, and run it.
And you guys have been in business for 3 years.
This is our 3rd year. Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you. But this is our dedicated stingray system. There's more on the other side.
And these are all hand fed, and it's really, really obvious when you walk up to the aquariums.
How they come around.
Because they all come up begging to the glass. They're all fat and they look amazing. And each of these fish is kept in its own 80-gallon system, which is especially appropriate for how small they are right now and a good example to set for their customers. They're so cute. Makes me want rays.
That would be the idea.
I like too that they don't have their barbs covered.
I'm not big on certain things. They need to be the way they are.
Exactly.
Because anytime you mess with them, you kind of invoke
tissue culture. That's
tissue
nice.
Cultures.
Very cool. Oh, and live food cultures. That's something you don't see everywhere. Very cool.
And then our betta cubicles, so they're not in little bowls.
They look fantastic. It's such a difference when they're housed like this over being housed in the cups. You really can get a better idea of their personalities when you're shopping.
Oh yeah.
Look at that guy. Very cool.
And then this is like the half of the plant system. The other half's on the other side.
How often do you guys get in fresh plants?
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday. do you do special orders for folks if they're looking for something in particular?
If I can get it. A lot of everything we do is based on availability, as you know.
Right.
So, I've had people patiently wait weeks and even months for certain fish. Madagascar.
Yeah, people have been asking me where to get that, so now we know you can get it here. They can be tricky to get in. Sometimes you can order them 100 times and they only come in once.
We've got a pretty good track record with those.
Sorry.
This is the African cichlid wall. Like I said, it's a little light. We're getting an order in next week.
How many employees do you have working here?
I'm going to say off the top of my head, 8.
I know I spotted Compressus or a Neolampricus. Ugh. I love their grumpy faces. They're so stinking cute. They're in my wish list. There's not that many Africans that I really mess with. I kind of like the tangs. I always like these Julietochromis. Those the Marleri or?
Yes.
There's something I'd like to keep again one day. I kept the Dick Feldi mainly because the name made me laugh, which is very immature of me, but also true.
Well, there's reasons for every fish.
CO2 on your plant system?
Not on this.
Not on this side?
No, it's all dosed with liquids. UV sterilization. I've got a sump filtration on it.
It's shockingly algae free, so you guys are doing something right.
Well, that is the Kessel lights.
It's nice that you invested in those for this.
Yeah,
do you sell Kessel as well?
We did Kessel lights on the plants, Kessel lights on a couple of our show tanks. We got Kessel lights over the coral system, and in the summertime we hang Kessel lights over our pond plants, the marginal plants.
I'm excited to come see it when you have the marginals in. Look at the size of those quarries.
So,
Shiny
yep,
fish.
this is our freshwater sort of community system.
We'll come take a closer look at all the fish.
Here you're going to find different rainbows, the roseline sharks, brilliant rasbors. We're very big on plecos.
Oh, snowball.
Yeah, we're very big on plecos here.
So at this point I'm going to do a voiceover for parts of the video as there was music playing in the store and I don't want it to get copyright strikes. Scott was telling me how they're big on a bunch of different plecos, and I think what was really important to discuss is how to tell if they're healthy or not. As you look at these, you can see they have super, super round bellies, but more importantly, when you look at their eyes, they don't look at all sunken. With plecos, one of the things you need to look at in a store is that their eyes are not appearing sunken in their head, because that can be a sign of them being underweight. I'll show you in a little bit, but one of the things that Scott does really, really well is he actually target feeds specific foods to a lot of the fish in the store, including cutting up fresh produce, peppers and squash for a lot of the grazers, and feeding clams to some of the meat eaters, and really taking into consideration the specific needs of all the different types of fish that he has in his store. I showed in the beginning and when we were looking at the rays that he even hand feeds them, and that just really, you know, one thing that really stuck out to me about this store as we walked around was that all of the fish were really actively engaged with the people near the aquariums, and it's just a sign that they're really well maintained, fed regularly, and in good health and condition. I know I'm focusing a lot on the plecos here, but that's because I am a pleco hoarder, and it's just really unusual to see such nice and unusual specimens in a store.
And these guys, these are the 129 scribbles. These are not zebra plecos. I hate when people call them that. They're not.
They look great. So do these cories.
Discus.
You say all the discus are eating really, really well, and I think that's obvious by their shape.
Their shape, their responsiveness. One thing about discus is when you look at them in the store, you want them to respond to you.
Absolutely.
Because if they're responding to you, that means they're being fed and they're being cared for properly because they're associating with people.
They really do look good.
We got threadfin rainbows, odyssinthes, cats, gold tetras, rams. I think we got a lot of this stuff already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have that. So this is kind
We
of...
got geos.
Yeah, we've got geos. We got the big pseudacanthicus. Freckle face pikes are up there.
Oh, I didn't even see those because I'm so short. Oh my gosh, they're so... Look how interactive they are. Pikes are so cool if you have a big tank.
Alright, so this is the filter room.
Wow.
So, the way it works is all of our tap water goes through that deionization unit first. Then from there, it goes into our towers. Depending on what we're doing, we're going to treat the water in there.
Okay.
Because what the DI resin
strips
everything down, good and bad. So then we have to replenish the good and allow it to come up to room temperature. So that's what those towers are for. So the water goes in there for that. Then all your filtration's basically the same. This is your sump. Okay. Water's going to come from the tanks out of the common drains into a pad and then a carbon pad underneath, taken out by the pump. Hello and welcome.
So is each one of these for each row?
Yeah, this one takes care of both sides of the African Isle. This one takes care of both sides of freshwater, and that's the discus system, that's the river monster system, and saltwater and so on.
Very cool.
And then everything's set up on bio balls. So this is the bio tower. So a portion of the water runs back through here, through UV sterilizer, and then back out into the system.
Very cool.
Thankfully, we don't have a lot over there, but that's our hospital tank area. This is quarantine. All saltwater fish that come in get quarantined until they're ready to go out. And any of the freshwater fish that we have, mainly the wild caught stuff, discus, things like that, that is just
more prone to having some issues.
We're going to throw it back here and wait until they're eating before we take them out.
Very cool. And these all obviously have individual filtration. Oh, yep. Look at the little ray.
Yeah, she's back here because she's too small to be out there in that flow. She's getting blown around. So we're going to keep her back here, get some size on her, and then we'll put her back out there. But yeah, we even sit on our discus until they're eating good, cleaned out.
Very cool. It's nice to see this in a store. I wish more stores would do the same. That is cool. See, it's dangerous for me to look at salt water.
Yeah.
Because this will make me want saltwater tanks, and then I'll need a second fish room.
Well, but see, you can do nano saltwater.
It is absolutely critical for breeding plecos, and it's nice that you have such a range. Do you buy them from Brantley?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the same ones I use in my fish room, which are great. And then I think it's really cool too that not only do they have the larger selection of botanicals, but they sell them in small quantities for people who have the nano tanks, so that you can, or if you just want to try them out. And it's really cool to see a store that is embracing this more natural style of aquarium and the various uses of botanicals, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. Wanted to try in my fish room, but I have not done yet. They're so sexy. So these are also the tools that I use at home. And these,
and the nice thing about with their tools, they're multi-purpose.
yeah, saltwater and freshwater.
Saltwater and freshwater. You know what I mean? And I've had a lot of people actually go a little bit beyond that and use some of the cutting tools to shape their manzanita wood before putting it in, because they're strong enough to do that. They'll cut coral bone.
And these last really long and they don't rust. So they're wonderful. Another thing that they had was just a really, really wide range of frozen foods of all types for both fresh and saltwater fish, for tiny fish, for big fish, as well as all the appropriate dried foods, as well as the live cultures. Just a really great example of what a store should offer. And now I'm just going to spend a lot of time simply showing you guys all the fish in this store. Now again, just like any store, they have a revolving stock list, but I think it was at least really clear to me that I didn't see a single sick fish. I didn't see a single dead fish. Everything was really happy. Everything was really well fed. They were behaving the way they're supposed to. And there was a really great variety, from really rare and unusual plecos to your more common cherry barbs and tetras, to invertebrate shrimp, crayfish, crabs, and snails. A great saltwater selection, some neat puffers, tiny cichlids. And one of the things that I thought was really unique as well about Scott and his store is that they don't sell any tank buster fish. They don't sell anything that they don't think that most hobbyists would be able to house properly, nor do they take trade-ins of fish, as they don't want to facilitate sort of the disposable quality some people have, or thoughts people have about fish. And I just thought it was a really, really fun day. And I definitely think that this is a destination store. And it is in Hadfield, PA. I'll make sure to put a link to the store. You can find them on Instagram as well as Facebook as well. And I'm going to be sharing some of the speaking engagements they have coming up in the future at this store. I'll be doing one in the middle of April. I'll be doing an aquascaping display for a breeding tank. They're having one on fish and health disease in March. And I would really encourage you guys to go to their Instagram or their Facebook and show them some love. I think it's really, really unique what they're doing here, and the obvious care and passion they have for the fish and just the hobby in general is patently obvious. They're also big supporters of the local clubs as well as the local high school. They sponsor the marine biology program at the high school, and it's just really great to see such passionate individuals have such a beautiful store and have a lot of success, and that is because of hobbyists. So if you're ever in the greater Philadelphia area or looking for something to do for a day trip, I really encourage you to check this store out. Now let's just keep looking at some fish. As always, thank you guys for your continued support. I know this is a long one, so if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the footage.